Greetings, community. I'm welcome to NCBD Comics and another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, 9/24/2025. It's great to be here and it's great to be alive. I appreciate every single one of you that cruise on through on the rewind. Without you, it'd only be, well, half as much as it actually is. And for those of you that cruise on through on the live, well, let's take a moment and say hi. Started off with Las Cruces. Dude, I appreciate you being here, and it's awfully great to see you. It's been a little bit of time, and appreciate seeing you back. And Jigs, dude, I appreciate you trying to stay up with me, and if you can't, hey, I understand. It is quite late out there on the other side. I only mean on the other side of the country. All right, hey, let's start off real quick and start off with Boom Studios. They're going to start off with Win. Now, if you've been reading all the Win stuff, this started way back when, if I want to recall, around 2020. This is a story that it started off kind of all ages and kind of got heavy. Yes, it's still intended for those younger readers. However, it does come across a little bit heavy for the younger readers. It does deal with, taking over. How should I say? They're talking about full on taking over people, their cultures, the way they live, and decimating other people and so forth. What I'm getting at is it's a fantasy story with fairies, other individuals that are considered wild ones, kind of like. Also, you do get vampires, you do get some other things, trolls and so forth, and other things you've never seen before. Trites and other things that are very rarely mixed in with certain fantasy stories. The beauty is it's supposed to give you an understanding of how many are affected by so few and how each and every one of us does affect each and every one of us, regardless if we see that individual or not. It is a story that is now, I want to say, 4 volumes thick, and it's ending. The Power of the Blood, issue number 5 of Wind, from my understanding, totally ends right here. It would have made my most anticipated read if it wasn't for the fact that it's a little bittersweet for me. I didn't quite want it to end, and I don't know how it's supposed to, so I'm a little confused, I guess. I do have a couple other books that I've been looking forward to the same much as this one, but not in the same way. And that's why I guess it's the only reason why this book didn't meet my most anticipated read. If you are looking for a vast world to read and quite of a concentrate of a storyline, meaning that those volumes are really not that heavily as far as the amount of articulation. There's no a whole lot of dialogue in these storylines, but there is a lot of heart. It does hit you hard. The art is fantastic. It is a Tinian story, which makes a lot of sense when it comes across the way it does. He's never done anything like this. It is a story that definitely touches your heart, and again, the only reason why I'm spending so much time is it just missed out on being my most anticipated read. It is a great read. I highly recommend, but it just missed the mark. Let's move on from that. Hey, Jags. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you being here. Hope all is good with you. Let's move out from Boom. That gives us Win. And their last iteration, to my understanding, with the Power of the Blood issue number 5. That comes out on 9/24/2025. Let's cruise out from that Boom and cruise over to IDW, which is going to give us Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees Rite of Spring, issue number 3. Wow, that's a mouthful. This is the continuation of a story that actually gives us an iteration of a storyline that sets up the storyline that we read first and has a better understanding of what we should expect in further iterations if they were to so come. If that makes sense. What I really love about the storyline is one, to pick just one, is that it really comes across to where the format just, it hits so hard, almost like a sledgehammer. I mean, the way it's delivered, the way the art comes across, the fact that it's anamorphic, the way it's just, yeah, it really hits hard, and it always takes you back when you see what's going on. In the format, it's not only presented to you, but also in the way that it's so delivered. I really truly admire the way Horvath sets up his just horrific psychotic stories, but it's something to not only really admire as far as a just a reader, but as a writer too. It's something to take away from how he sets up a storyline, because it's, in my opinion, rather brilliant. And Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees, the original volume, blew my mind. Rite of Passage, issue number 3, I can't wait to get tomorrow. It's just, again, it's probably like third on my most anticipated read, and it's issue number 3. Just saying. Let's move out from Beneath the Trees and cruise over to Street Sharks, issue number 1. This further expands the universe that's being presented to us. That was first, I guess, presented somewhere in that 80s all the way into the 90s time. What was it? Street Sharks, and my brain's going away. The other one, this came out last week. That well, even Biker Mice from Mars is part of that whole universe. So, and God, something that just came out last week, which my brain escapes, from Juan Gideon and them. I have it behind me. I'm too lazy to get. My apologies. What I really appreciate is not necessarily just it bringing back things in my childhood, as I always been enjoying of late, and I've been picking up. But if you're a fan of the original Street Sharks, I mean, this is something that you not only want to get your hands on, but regardless of how it's delivered, you just want to delve into some nostalgia. I can't wait to get into this book. I truly can't. And I don't really have much expectations for it, other than the fact that it just kind of brings me back of the day of yore. So, hey, Street Sharks and everything else, the Biker Mice and everything that's been coming out, I am so grateful that these books have been coming out. They've been fun. They mean a whole lot, and they mean a whole lot little. So, hey, you're ready to have some serious fun and nothing more than just some fun? Street Sharks, issue number 1. Let's cruise out from that and talk about Twilight Zone blank, issue number 1. It's another number 1, blanks. Now, I've been talking about a few books out there, how they come across like a night gallery or Tales from the Dark, or in the case of this, a Twilight Zone. Because growing up, these are things that I end up not only watching it on TV, but there were so many knockoffs, Tales of the Dark, so forth, that, I mean, that was a heavy amount that I was getting on TV. Plus, I also knew that they were also taking off of some of the pulp fiction horror that was coming out way in the early teens, 20s, and 30s, that they were just taking these things from. I even got scientific versions of those with people like Isaac Asimov and so forth, that were writing in these early times, that were given these 1- and 2-page short stories. I like that kind of stuff. I can't wait to get more in these Twilight Zone style books, because we're going to get so many different individuals going to be chomping on the bit to go ahead and give their little contribution, not only on the art side, but on the writer side. And you're going to get these crossovers that are just going to work so well. I look forward not only reading those type of stories, but looking forward to new stories that come about because of those combinations of individuals that would normally not be together unless those things came about, if that makes sense. So again, Twilight Zone blanks, issue number 1 by IDW, coming out on 9/24/2025. All right, let's move on from IDW, cruise over to Marvel, and start off with an all-new Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider, issue number 2. All right, have to admit, I only got to flip through issue number 1. I like what I saw. The art is pretty awesome. Really didn't get to the storyline, other than I kind of got a gist of what was happening, because I was catching from the last storyline. Bleeds over to this one, where we get essentially the symbiote type of villain, which we all know is essentially her old costume, is really playing the major role, along with a supporting role in the background of another villain that's to my understanding. I'm looking forward to not only getting issue number 1, to getting issue number 2. Go ahead and complete what I was reading. What was that, 3 months ago? I'm a little bit behind in my reading. All that right there is still yet to read. Just saying. But I'm catching up, and I'm looking forward to this book. I've been enjoying the Ghost Spider stuff for years now. I was trying to shut that off my pull list. The last volume, I only got an issue number 1, then side issue number 2, and then the next thing you know, I got it on the pull list. Here we are, put it on the pull list, and until it fails me as a story, I'm going to keep reading it. Just saying. All new Ghost Spider. Issue number 2 coming out to me and you. 9/24/2025. Cruising out from that, Battle World issue number 1. For those of the fans that kind of like the old kind of stitched together Battle Worlds that give us all these new characters and all these versions of these characters and you know what I mean. You're gonna like that stuff. I like that stuff. Look, if you've been reading long enough, you're either becoming super jaded or super understanding that this is what we get. Not only that, what we're looking for really is a well-told storyline. So yes, we get that we're going to get a little of this or a little of that or something told before. I get it. I'm looking forward to this because I already kind of know what's happening all the way up to issue number 4. What's supposed to come out. I'm in. I like it. I like where it's heading. I like where it's going to be building. I like where it's supposed to be setting up for all of spring stuff that we're getting in 2026. So I'm just saying, I'm all in. I'm Battle World issue number 1, which I believe we're going to get 5. Yo, Bobby, how you do? Hope all is all well with you. Appreciate you being here. Seriously. And to the other 4 other individuals, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's move out from the Battle World issue number 1 and talk about Black Cat issue number 2. Much like the all-new Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, I'm kind of behind on Black Cat. Much like the same thing. I flipped through it. I was curious of what this art was going to be. It's not what I'm used to. And I really love the McKay telling storyline of Black Cat. So it just seemed like there was a whole different formatting difference in what I'm normally used to and have been reading. Sheesh. It's almost been like 3 years that I've been getting a lot of this McKay in and out type storyline from, Black Cat. All that stated, I am looking forward to reading this as much as I'm looking forward to reading issue number 1. So I'm just saying, it's another one of those storylines, another one of those books that I tend to not only enjoy, so I get my hands onto it, but I really like the female storylines, and once I start reading it, I can't stop reading these storylines, which end up being on my pull list, which here we are. Black Cat, all new Spider-Gwen, just saying. Black Cat issue number 2 coming out again to me and you. Let's move on from that. Talk about Death of Silver Surfer issue number 4. This has been kind of trippy. What I have been digging is the fact that, hey, how you doing, legend? It keeps going back and forth to what we're supposed to expect, I guess, or get. I really thought we were going to get an elimination of Galactus and not necessarily the Silver Surfer. I really thought we were possibly going to get like a direct replacement by now. I really didn't know what was happening. And then what we're seeing, what was happening now with Surfer, and then what we're supposed to get with issue number 4 with already a named individual. If you guys are left vague and going, what is he talking about? Cool. If you're a Surfer fan, I highly recommend go ahead and get out issue number 1. All these things are still out there. And they're not really that highly, like bought out or anything. I know I've seen them on the shelves. Man, am I recommending the Silver Surfer storyline. It is so enjoyable. And every time I turn another page, I'm like, wait, what? No way. What? Wait. So I really been enjoying every time I've been picking this issue up. I really have been taken back how the direction has been going. I do know, like I said, there's another new named individual that I didn't expect. That there's a lot in this, like I said, I didn't expect. I just can't wait to get my hands on this book. It did make my most anticipated read because, like I said, and 3's in there. 1 and 2 were just awesome. I'm just saying. So, Silver Surfer 4 coming out on 24. Move out from the Death of Silver Surfer issue number 4 to talk about Spider-Girl issue number 4. Now that we're not getting Spider-Boy and he's done with that, his issue 20, we're getting this as kind of a sideline issue of what's going on with Spider-Boy. Also, we do see his appearance in the Amazing Spider-Man. Don't want to get too far over there and talk about that because that was like last year, weeks and a week to follow. Circling back, man, I've really been enjoying how they've been go ahead and giving us this character. This could have been a character that could have easily died, but Spider-Girl is now not only making her own place in the Marvel Universe, but I'd have to admit it's almost as enjoyable as Spider-Boy to me. She's kind of in a bad place right now. She earned her right. She had her own little ability to go to the school, set everything up right. She's trying to play everything low-key. But now all she's done is making herself a target. And if you're reading it, you know what I'm talking about. And we also get a new character, which has made her a target. And if you know what I'm talking about and reading it. And she, meaning Spider-Girl, has to make a few choices that are going to be difficult. And it's going to go ahead and really define her as she sets up her, I guess want to say, new precedent of how she's going to continue and conduct herself from here on in. Again, if it sounds rather vague on what I'm saying, if you haven't already jumped into some of the Spider-Boy stuff and or know anything about this character of Spider-Girl, I do recommend it if you're in the Marvel Universe. And Spider-Girl is a standalone character of her own. We've heard this character in past before. This little girl, she's got her own little thing going on, and it's really cool. It is really unique. It's really cool, and I really have been enjoying it. So, Spider-Girl issue number 4. Can't wait. Just saying. Let's move on from that and talk about Mortal Thor issue number 2. Now, I did get a Rivals variant. I did get an issue cover A. Now, we've had the Immortal Thor. We've now got Mortal Thor. If you're following and understanding, you know that wow, Loki, he keeps stabbing a lot of people in back. And not only proverbially, but like literally. And he's done it to 2 separate things going on in the Marvel Universe right now that is just, it keeps blowing my mind every time I circle back. When it comes to Thor in particular, he is now mortal. He is on Earth. Really doesn't have a full understanding of what the hell is going on, for one, and his role in the past, let alone where he stands in the present. And it's just been remarkable to read how all this, one, transpired to lead to where we got, and 2, where this is going. And 3, this is rather brutal and bludgeon and visceral. Like issue number 1, it was like, holy, along with like that whole annual thing and everything. Wow. Cool setup. I really been enjoying it. Mortal Thor issue number 2 is another one of those Thor stories that it really is. It's beyond anything anyone's talking about right now. I highly recommend it. I don't know if enough people are talking about it. If you ever were even somewhat of a Thor fan, jump in right now. It's only issue number 2, and you will not be disappointed in any regard. I believe. I think you'll catch up real quick too. It's pretty good. It starts off really well. Thor, Mortal Thor, issue number 2 coming out 9/24/2025. Let's move up now and talk about Ultimate Hawkeye. Issue number 1 is a one shot. It's kind of like a mark for the maker. Hawkeye is on a mission, like hunting mission, like for the maker. You see a lot from the introduction that we get from Hawkeye, and we didn't get a whole lot, but we're getting a whole lot of depth and understanding of not only who Hawkeye is, the ultimate role I believe that Hawkeye is going to play in the future. We're getting so close. We're only 2.5 months away from all the shit that's about to hit the fan, and I can't wait. I think Hawkeye, yeah, I think this character is going to be something rather significant, along with Wolverine. I think when we get, Iron Man scenes out there, but when we get everyone to kind of work together and really formulate a game plan this is going to be one badass battle. I'm just saying. I can't wait. Ultimate Hawkeye, I believe, is undeniably one of those that you should not miss if you're going to if you're reading any aspect of this Ultimate universe. That it's that this is a very pinnacle aspect to that storyline, and I highly suggest reading it. So again, Ultimate Hawkeye issue number one shot. I don't think I got it. No, I didn't, but I have it on the way, but I didn't pick it up right last night. I'm just saying. Move on from the Ultimate Hawkeye and talk about Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 21. We're almost 2 years deep in the storyline. It's only going to go up to issue number 24. There it will end. We then get the Ultimate Endgame. That is also like a blind bag thing going out. That I'm going pretty heavy on that on the issue number 1 on the blind bags. The reason why is there's a possible Otley sketch in there. You got all those other high-end ratios and variants that could possibly in there, but that's not necessarily what I'm trying to get. If I'm lucky enough, I might get one of those Ryan Otley things. I'm just saying, looking forward to it. Back to the regular station radio program on YouTube. My point being, Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 21. This has just been a really ultimate storyline in this whole Ultimate universe. I can't get enough of the Spider-Man storyline and how it's been told. It's been awesome. It's been unique. It's been totally different, but yet so familiar. I've been enjoying this and how it's shaping where we're getting to this Ultimate near endgame storyline. And I really believe that Spider-Man, along with just the Ultimates, plays such a significant role in formulating what we're supposed to get. I've been enjoying not only reading it, but how it's been setting up what we're supposed to get to in this coming, like I said, like 1.5, 2 months, 2.5 at most. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 21. That's it for Marvel. Let's move on from Marvel and talk about Dynamite. Space Ghost issue number 3. I said this before. I'll say it again. David Pepos got okayed for 27 issues. What that means was 12 issues, 2 annuals, and a one-shot. Here we are with that second volume, issue number 3. I've yet to read issue number 2. Sorry. I'm a little behind, as I keep pointing out. However, that stated, man, David is doing such a good job with this. Not only with the writing, with the art, it's just been pulling me in. The constant battles, the constant seeming like impending doom at every given corner. The cool things that I remember that I had forgotten, how they're able to turn invisible, how their cloaking and all that works, and the name of just all the devices and the ship and the world, and just it's so awesome to live this nostalgic memory, but in such a present time, and so significantly just I don't know, everything's so presently written so well that it offers such a significant meaning, not only to it's paying homage to the past, but how well it's written and formulating something that anyone can now take. If David was to go ahead and relinquish or even want to expand on this world, anyone can now take and have, as he's been building on this universe, a lot to go ahead on what little has been given to us, the database from, and just build upon. I've been digging Space Ghost, as you could totally tell. And yeah, it tends to be one of my more anticipated reads every month. I'm looking forward to the next year of what we're supposed to get of it, or at least 9 more months. We're supposed to 10 more months of this, what we're supposed to get. I can't wait. Between the Speed Racer and all this stuff that he's been doing, yeah, it's just been awesome, man. Just can't say enough. Dynamite, giving us Space Ghost, David Pelos, issue number 3, coming out to you and me. Let's move on from Dynamite and cruise over to Image. We're going to finish out there and starting off with Escape, issue number 2. This is another one of those anamorphic style storylines, but really, oh man, when you get a storyline where you have a downed pilot and behind enemy lines that has to utilize the assistance of the very people that are victims themselves of this battle behind enemy lines to get this down soldier on the other side of that, man, that firing line, that ultimate battle line. I mean, both, you're seeing really how war affects both sides. You're seeing a lot of horror, tragedy, and ultimately the pain and suffering that is accompanied by such things. When it's told in such one way and a normal battle style, but you get it in this anamorphic style, it always hits differently, much like Beneath the Trees. It does remove some of the severity of what you're seeing, but at the same point, it only does so, in my opinion, so you can go ahead and really make palatable what you're actually seeing. It doesn't remove from the acts, just how they're portrayed. I really been enjoying the story. Rick Remender's really been doing such magnificent job with his storytelling of late. The way he's been able to do setups, the way he's been able to convey storylines, it's not only so easy to gravitate to that kind of writing style as a reader, because not only how enjoyable it is to read, but it allows the reader many a times moments to, I guess, digest what the reader's getting, and at times question: is this me? Is this how I see things? What am I getting out of it introspectively at times? So what's interesting in these type of stories is, beyond the just surface of reading it, there's a little bit more to be able to get from it than just the enjoyable reading aspect of entertainment. Just saying. Let's move on from Escape, issue number 2, and talk about Universal Monsters, Invisible Man, issue number 2. Now you're gonna laugh at me in this one. Yes, I have yet to read issue number 1, but it's not totally my fault. I bought the one per store. I didn't know that it was intended to be totally blank on the inside. I didn't know that that was the gimmick. I'm just saying, hey man, how you do? Appreciate you being here. So when I opened it up, I had to ask, wait, is this the whole thing? The Air, I guess, book version of that has printing. So I've been calling around town, not only looking for the Air because of the obviousness of what it's been speccing at and going for. I wanted to read it, so I have to wait. Yeah, that box is coming to me now. Actually, I should be getting in about 5 or 6 days. But I got to read that mountain first. Just saying. All right, hey, I'm just saying, complaining. Yep, don't mind me. Let me start over. On 9/24/2025, Universal Monsters, Invisible Man, issue number 2, comes out by Tynion. He's been killing it with his stories of late. Plus, this is his first Universal Monster story, I believe. And I've been looking forward, not only because Invisible Man is one of my more favorite storylines, it's just such a unique story, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. And being that the words were invisible, I'm really chomping on the bit to freaking read this thing. Just saying. Let's move on from Universal Monsters, Invisible Man issue number 2, because this is killing me how ironic that is. And talk about Skinbreaker issue number 1. Now, I did pick up the Ashcan version of this. I flipped through it. I really didn't want to totally mess with it, and because it was a really good version, and I want to keep it that way. But I'm looking forward to getting into this. Cool thing is we already got Walking Dead. We already know we can do. We already got Invincible. We already got the whole Energon universe. So we already seen how well Kirkman could prove himself, and in these different ways. The cool thing is we get a whole new version, a whole new way. And we already have an understanding of what this team can do. Between the art, between the writer, I can't wait to get into this. I love a good barbarian story. So yeah, Skinbreaker almost made my most anticipated read. However, just off. Let's move on from that. Talk about Void Rivals. Again, part of the Energon universe, issue number 23. This is a significant issue. The whole thing between these two groups of people, separate factions that were separated, and they were supposed to be kept separated because if they ever got together and unite as a people or as a source or as a group or something, would be like devastating, not only to each one of them, but both of them as a whole. And being that they live on this spherical ring that is just outside of a black hole, which allows them to generate a lot of their power because of the gravitational force that they're able to, I guess, harvest, keeps also at bay an impending doom. Transformer. Sounds like a Decepticon. Nasty one. So that is why these two individual groups have always been separated, and they're of the understanding if they get together, that's how they're able to defeat this thing. Well, I think we're going to get a little bit more information as it kind of has been building up to here, and as we get to issue number 25, 24, which I believe it kind of stops. That's the whole part of that arc. I don't know where it goes from there as far as Void Rival is concerned. I do know the Energon universe as a whole is supposed to grow. We will get like some one shots and slowly expand on some ongoing series. But I don't know if Void Rivals is supposed to go away, or if it does in its present form, maybe. But it's definitely changing. Things are happening, and I just can't wait. But didn't quite make my, again, Blue Light special, but what did? And I appreciate each and every one that hung out with me and stood by, because this week's Blue Light special is, I don't know if you noticed, Hyde Street. That's right, issue number 9. Man, I've been getting all these 1 in 20s. Bought all the shirts. I'm loving it. Hyde Street to me, again, really embodied, really encompassed what I was talking about before in the sense of Twilight Zone, Tales from the Dark. These style storylines always just really took me back and just really allowed me to open my mind to be entertained, not only by what was being presented, but overall, sometimes the morals and some of the things that were trying to be conveyed in some of these storylines beyond the obviousness of the horror, which to me was like a shock value to go ahead and open up your mind. Hyde Street, as we're seeing it grow and see it develop, we're initially presented as just a street, a place that you can stumble onto, but now we're seeing it's almost like a whole world of its own, in the sense of like the size of purgatory itself. Infinite, ever, the embodiment is ever encompassing, ever expanding, but also at the same point, ever and never relenting. It just, once you're there, you can't get out unless for some reason you either get the right amount of souls, or you meet the right amount of requirements, or you see something within yourself that no one else sees, and you're going ahead and giving this one-time free pass when you first consider the judgment. Hyde Street, as we're seeing each and every issue being presented, is not only delivering us a storyline each and every issue, but it's building upon this Hyde Street universe each and every issue. We're learning more about the participants in this world. We're learning more about the individuals and their drive, their motivations, and the reason why they either do or don't do some of the things that make them who they are in this world. The beauty is this world is definitely a mirror image of how we can either look at ourselves or others, or even look at the world in some regards. Are we constantly judging one another? Are we constantly judging ourselves? Do we always feel like the world is judging us? And if so, are we always having to pay some penance behind it? You know, I mean, I really love how the story is presented. I told Jeff Johns how much this was one of my most favorite storylines out of the whole universe that he does, because how well it tells not only a story, but again, as I made mention before, it does more so. And anything that does more so, anything that allows you to think, especially critically. Well, I think overall, that's not only the objective of what many writers are trying to do, but I think, especially in this particular writer, Jeff Johns, I think it's more of the forefront of his writing style. I not only appreciate it, but it allows me to immerse myself into something that is not only enjoyable to read as a storyline, to be able to reflect as of a storyline and look at myself. So it allows me to be not only just as immersive in the story, but as reflective in my own self and where I'm at as a person. Kind of philosophical, just saying. Hey, I appreciate everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody that cruised on through Hyde Street, issue number 9. Highly recommend it. My blue light special. To Bobby, I totally agree. To Ben, to the legend, you are so much so. Jag, Las Cruces, Jigs, I appreciate you, brother. Is there anyone I missed? I hope not. I truly don't. Hey, and as I made mention before, everyone, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And until next time, that's it from me, Entropy. Have a great night.